The United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense latest intelligence update on Ukraine, Monday, August 14, 2023. In the past week, fighting has intensified along the banks of the lower Dnipro River. Ukrainian forces have conducted raids and established small bridgeheads at new locations on the Russian-held southern bank. This is in addition to expanding the bridgehead Ukraine has maintained near the destroyed Antoniski Bridge since June. Some Ukrainian operations likely exploited opportunities during the rotation of local Russian forces. Both sides continue skirmishing to control small islands in the Dnipro estuary. Russian commanders face a dilemma on whether to allocate resources to reinforce positions along the river or deploy troops farther east where Ukraine's main counteroffensive operations are occurring. The Ukrainian Air Force Command update. In the early morning hours of August 14, 2023, Russian forces conducted multiple waves of launches of Iranian-supplied drones and ship-launched cruise missiles against targets across southern and eastern Ukraine. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, Russia launched approximately 15 Shahed-136 and Shahed-131 kamikaze drones from the southeast near Primorsko-Akhtarsk and 8-caliber cruise missiles from a frigate in the Black Sea near Yalta. Ukrainian air defenses successfully intercepted and neutralized all incoming threats through coordinated efforts between the Air Force and other military branches. Surface-to-air missiles and anti-aircraft artillery were utilized to counter the aerial assault. Despite the successful defense, falling debris from destroyed missiles and drones caused fires in several locations in Odessa. Emergency responders continue work to extinguish the blazes. In a separate engagement around 5 a.m. local time, an Air Force anti-aircraft unit downed a Russian helicopter, type unknown, while it operated near Bakhmut. The Ukrainian armed forces maintain vigilant readiness against continued Russian aerial attacks across the country. The professionalism and tactical execution by Ukraine's air defenders continues to undermine Russia's attempts to achieve air superiority. The Institute for the Study of War Russian Offensive Campaign Assessment. The Ukrainian military continues to make incremental gains in counteroffensive operations in southern Ukraine. On August 14, Ukraine's Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar reported advances near the towns of Velika Novosilka and Urazhaini in Donetsk Oblast and Robotyne in Zaporizhia Oblast. Russian defenses appear overstretched and unable to prevent further Ukrainian gains. The commander of the Russian Vostok battalion near Urazhaini complained his forces are exhausted and lack reinforcements despite being engaged in heavy fighting. This aligns with previous assessments that Russian forces lack operational reserves to rotate units or shore up defenses. In the critical Bakhmut sector, Ukraine has retaken approximately 40 square kilometers over the past several weeks. On August 14, Ukraine advanced another 3 square km closer to the strategic logistics hub of Bakhmut, which remains in Russian control. Sustained Ukrainian counteroffensive pressure is steadily grinding down undermanned Russian defensive positions across the front. But Russian forces retain the capability for localized counterattacks, which could slow or temporarily reverse Ukrainian gains. Ukraine likely seeks to maintain momentum to capitalize on apparent Russian weaknesses before Moscow can reconstitute defensive lines with fresh reserves. The Institute for the Study of War key takeaways today. Russia is cracking down on publicizing military movements in occupied Crimea, likely in response to Ukraine's ongoing strikes on Russian assets there. Overnight missile and drone attacks struck Odessa Oblast, continuing Russia's campaign to disrupt Ukrainian rear areas. The Kremlin still lacks full control over Russian private military companies with ties to oligarchs, limiting military coordination. A new $200 million U.S. military aid package for Ukraine was announced, further bolstering Kyiv's capabilities. Ukrainian counteroffensives grind forward in eastern and southern Ukraine, notably achieving gains near Bakhmut. But Russia also launched limited attacks across several fronts. Russia is still struggling with recruitment, now appointing ultranationalists to lead National Guard units, possibly to boost enlistment. Moscow is removing local officials in occupied Ukraine to install preferred candidates before upcoming sham elections. In summary, Ukraine is sustaining counteroffensives amid continued Russian attacks. Military aid continues flowing to Ukraine as Russia still struggles with control and recruitment. Russia is consolidating its occupation politically ahead of sham votes.